MLB Pipeline has dropped their top 100 prospects going into the 2025 season. Let's take a look at it, getting started right now with player number 100, Jacob Misiorowski. I'm actually surprised he's down this low. I know he had an off year last year. I believe he walked a ton of batters. His strikeout to walk rate was a little all over the place. He had 97 innings, 60 walks, so I get it, but the stuff is still electric on a guy like Misiorowski, so I wouldn't give up hope on him just yet. He's got insane fastball, curveball. I want to see more of him. Theo Gillen cracking the top 100. He did not make the top 100 of Baseball America. He was one of my favorite prospects coming out of the draft last year. I really liked the build of him. He struggled in the 8 games in A-ball, but he was also one of the few prep batters to actually even play above like rookie or summer camp ball or complex league ball. I like Theo Gillen as a player here. Top 100, I think once you start to get towards the bottom here, you start to just throw in guys that you like, so I'm cool with that. Michael Arroyo. This guy did some crazy stuff last year. Crazy power. I think he had 23 homers, 26 doubles. He is super young. He's only 20 years old. He's a little bit smaller, 5'8", 160. We stand our short kings. That's basically me right now. That's kind of funny to think about, and this guy is just dominating baseball. He got up to high A, was a really good year for him, 400 on base, something that you like to see, and the Mariners can always use more hitting, especially when it's up the middle. Jefferson Rojas making it at number 97. Okay, Jefferson Rojas, I've seen you on the top 100 before. He didn't hit well last year, but again, look at his age, 19 years old. He was basically 18 playing at high A last year. The Cubs are being super aggressive with a guy like Jefferson Rojas. I'm interested to see what he can do in 2025. Johnny Farmello, this is a name that a lot of people were high on coming out of the draft in 2023. He was someone who they felt was very projectable, very moldable, and the Mariners are a great organization for this because he has the physical tools. Now it's about putting it together at the plate, and you saw last year, first season of professional baseball, about 50 games and 800 OPS, showed a little bit of pop, was able to run the bases, stole 18 in 46 games. He's a really solid player. At number 95, Jose Briseño. I'll be honest, I don't really know much about him. He signed in January 2022. Okay, so he's a hit-first catcher. His numbers last year at A-ball seem to be, I'm a little bit confused by this one. Maybe you guys can let me know in the comments. I guess he does walk a ton. A 381 on base is really good, especially on the previous year, 402 on base, so he's an on-base king. The power is a 60. He's a big boy at 6'4", 200, so the exit velos must be really good on him. I'll be honest. I don't really know much about Jose Briseño, but it's a name I'll keep an eye out for sure. Trey Morgan, LSU first baseman. He's cracking the top 100 now as a third-round pick. Wow. Okay. Oh, my goodness. He had a 408 on base last year. He was a really good player at LSU. Just a really active guy. Made a lot of plays, put the ball in play, got on base. As you saw, his hit tool is a lot higher than his power and a lot of his speed, but he is a good glove as well. Might even play a little outfield as it shows us. Okay, Trey Morgan, I see you. Eduardo Tayit making the top 100. Okay, Eduardo. He was one of the big international signings last year. Well, I guess it was technically 2 years ago now, 2023. Mark, get it right. But yeah, big power out of this guy, 18 years old, 300 average last year, hit 11 homers. I believe this was in the rookie league and then A-ball. Yeah, so Eduardo Tayit, someone to keep an eye out for. But first, I want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, Titan. Titan is the mattress for everybody. With a blend of high-quality foams and heavy-duty coils, Titan mattresses offer the lift and durability you deserve for a great night's sleep. No more compromising between comfort and support. It's all in one mattress. Plus, they ship for free across the U.S. from their Arizona factory. If you're tired of settling for mattresses that don't fit your needs, it's time to upgrade to Titan. When searching for a mattress, personally, I needed a new one for my bedroom. I've been rocking the same mattress since I was in college, so it was time for me to upgrade to something that was more comfortable and more supportive. Based on this, I got a Titan Plus Luxe mattress in queen size, and I've now had my Titan mattress for over a month, and I absolutely love it. What I like the most is how supportive and durable this mattress is. It feels so good, and I run really hot while I sleep, and I've noticed that I am sleeping so much cooler at night due to my Titan Plus Luxe mattress. What's great is that with Titan mattress, you also get a 120-night sleep trial with a 10-year warranty. Also, TitanMattress.com delivers the mattress directly to your door for free within the United States, and it comes rolled up in a box, which makes it super easy to unpack and set up yourself. I mean, seriously, it took less than 5 minutes for me to get my Titan Plus Luxe mattress set up. I don't know why, but I really love the sound that the mattress made while it was inflating. And once I opened it up from the plastic, look how quickly it popped up. I was legitimately shocked. This thing is unbelievably comfortable. One of the best parts about Titan mattress is that they are designed, assembled, and shipped from their Arizona factory, as well as Titan offers 3 different options: the Titan Plus, the Titan Plus Luxe, and their newest mattress, the Titan Elite. If you're looking for a premium mattress that delivers the perfect medium firm feel, choose the Titan Elite. Designed for all body types, this is their most luxurious option on the market. They really have something for everyone. I love my Titan mattress. I I think you would too. If you're looking for a new bed, check out TitanMattress.com. You can click on the links below and get 30% off your order using my code GiraffeNeckMarc. Thank you to Titan Mattress for sponsoring today's video. I'm genuinely looking forward to sleeping tonight. Edwin Arroyo, cracking the top 100 again. He really did not have a great season last year, didn't play at all. And the year before that, he wasn't really hitting well. I think maybe you give him another shot here at the start of the year before you drop him out of the top 100. One of the cool things about him, I know it doesn't say it anymore, but he was also a switch thrower. I saw that at the combine when I saw him play. This is a guy who probably wouldn't crack my top 100 right now. I'll be honest, Cam Collier also probably wouldn't crack my top 100 right now. I know he won the Futures Game MVP, but I feel like the numbers just aren't there yet. I will say 20 home runs, super encouraging for a guy who had some crazy power potential coming out of Chipola Junior College. Someone who I was really high on. I don't have him as a top 100 guy right now, but I don't necessarily hate him being at number 91. Kevin Alcantara, is he finally going to get a real shot at the major league level? Played 3 games last year. It wasn't enough, but he's a physical freak, 6'6", 188 pounds, was traded from the Yankees back in 2018, so it's been a long time coming. He's a solid player. I don't really know what his ceiling is as of right now. They haven't been able to harness his size into true power just yet, but seeing at 6'6", I mean, that's just always crazy. Cam Caminiti, first round pick by the Braves, making the top 100. One appearance last year at Augusta A-ball. I mean, he's got good stuff. A guy that I probably want to see a little bit more for before I crack the top 100. Same thing with Trey Savage. He didn't pitch at all last year in the minors. He was a little bit later of a first-round pick. I liked his stuff coming out of college. Big fastball, really good splitter. But again, I'm just usually a little more cautious on these draft picks, and MLB Pipeline does seem to kind of flood their top 100 to start the year with a lot of the guys from the first round last year. Arjun Nimmala coming in at number 87. So you're going to see the numbers. They're weird. 232 isn't great, but an 807 OPS with the slug that he showed. He hit 17 homers and 20 doubles with 7 triples in 90 games. That is the exciting thing about Arjun Nimmala. When you see what he can do at the plate, when you can see what these power numbers could eventually look like, it is really exciting. He's worked out with Francisco Lindor. He's only 19 years old. I'm really high on Nimmala. Carter Jensen cracking the top 100. I'll be honest, I'm not really sold on this one by any means. It's not that I dislike Carter Jensen by any means. He put up good numbers, like 18 homers, 22 doubles, walked a bunch. Maybe he deserves a little more respect. I don't know. I get worried about catchers, and to be fair, in that system, there is a catcher I like a lot more by the name of Blake Mitchell. I'm interested to see where he's ranked versus Carter Jensen. If Jensen's at 86, Mitchell's got to be in the top 75, I would think. Noble Meyer at number 85. Okay, Noble Meyer was a viewer of the channel. I don't know if he still is, but he was a viewer of the channel. He's got great stuff. I don't know if he would have been in my top 100 as of right now. The Marlins system is a little bit awkward with pitching development. They've hit a bit of a snag, but maybe with Peter Bendix coming in, they can help improve it because his stuff is crazy good. Sal Stewart at number 84. Again, another guy who I think probably doesn't crack my top 100 just because I don't know what the ceiling is on a guy like Sal Stewart, but when you see a near 400 on base percentage, he's 21 years old. He hits for a decent average. The pop is not anything to write home about, but he doesn't strike out, puts the ball in play, gets on base. All around good player, could play a bunch of different positions. I don't hate him here. Am I just a hater of like the Reds farm system? That's kind of crazy. Termarr Johnson in the top 100. I think this is a little bit of prospect pedigree. Giving him one more shot. I do think people have written him off a little bit more. He would have been more towards the back end of my top 100 in the late 90s right now. They did bump him up to AA last year, but it wasn't necessarily to the most success. He is showing pop. He is walking a ton, but he is striking out a lot. So I'm interested to see what Termarr's growth can look like in 2025. Tyrone Lorenzo. Okay, so he came over in the Jack Flaherty trade with the Dodgers. I'm shocked he's in the top 100. I truthfully am. These numbers, I guess again, because the on-base percentage was high, but these numbers to me don't jump out. Ooh, whoa, okay. So at high A, he dominated at high A once he moved to Detroit. Maybe they unlock something from him. All right, Tyrone Lorenzo. Listen, I'm okay with being wrong on these prospect guys. I'm just kind of telling you what's off the top of my head. 470 in 30 games is nothing to bat an eye out. Maybe the Tigers figure something out because Lorenzo was a top prospect at one point. Maybe he can reach that level again. I'll say it, Starlin Cobb at 81. I don't get it. Again, this is a glove first shortstop. I'm assuming they think he's going to be able to learn how to hit, but I can't put a guy who, I know he was 18. It's not fair, but I can't put a guy who hit 228 and had a sub 700 OPS. I don't care how good his glove is. Thomas Harrington at number 80 of the Pittsburgh Pirates from Campbell University, I believe. Yes, he was. He's a fighting Campbell. Love to see that. He's a fun name. The Pirates are really figuring something out on the pitching development side. He's been really good. Ashcraft is good. Obviously, Paul Skeens. They've got some young pitchers coming up that pipeline. Keep an eye out for the Pirates. Harlan Susana is maybe one of the most exciting pitching prospects in my opinion, simply because he throws 105 miles an hour and has a wipeout slider. If he can learn a third pitch, he has a chance to go go nuclear this season. I don't really care what these numbers are. 103 innings, 157 strikeouts with only 50 walks is kind of nasty. And of course, he came over from the Padres in the Juan Soto trade. It seems like everybody but the Padres benefited from Juan Soto. Caden Dan, a New Jersey boy, coming in at number 78. He got a call up way premature. He was not ready at all because he was doing really well in Double A. I'd like to see him go to Triple A this year, work on some things, improve his game. There is a difference. There's a massive difference between Double A and Triple A. I think the Angels are just getting way too comfortable with rushing these guys up because a couple of them have hit. Give Caden Dan a chance. I like what I've seen from him. Ting Kentz, I think this could be the year that Ting Kentz finally gets called up. A 2020 draft pick. He has been one of the more raw pitchers in terms of tools, but every single year he's gotten better and better and better. The only thing that concerns me is he still hasn't thrown 100 innings in a professional season. So what can his pitch count look like this year? What's his inning limit going to be? Can he actually make an impact, or are you saving him for 2026 and a big retooling year in 2025 for the Cardinals? Yep, Franklin Arias is kind of that next new Red Sox prospect to keep an eye out for. They are prioritizing bat speed, and if you see what they did with Franklin Arias, the numbers are crazy offensively. I mean, an 896 OPS, 9 homers, 54 RBIs. He was walking a ton, stole a bunch of bases, ended up even getting to A-ball, and of course, those numbers fell off a little bit, but there's a huge adjustment period for these guys. The bat speed stuff is real in Boston. Watch out for any prospect in that system. Feels like he could be a Christian Campbell type rise this upcoming season if things go right. Zaire Hope was the Arizona Fall League darling. He came over in the Michael Busch trade from the Chicago Cubs, and he does some crazy stuff like get on base. The exit velos are insane. While he might strike out and swing and miss a little bit at a high rate, the power potential is crazy with Zaire Hope. I'm telling you, if you've got Dynasty Baseball leagues, if you're buying baseball cards, this should be a guy you're circling. He is freakish. Hey, Felnin Celestine. Okay, he's making it into the top 75 here. We haven't seen much of him, but in that short sample, he was awesome. He dominated the rookie ball. I want to see him get to A-ball this year. I want to see what he can do there. Physical freak, another guy that you should keep an eye out for. The Mariners eat on the international farm system recently. James Triantos inside the top 75. Really? Yeah, wouldn't be there for me. Wouldn't be there for me. He feels like a player that has a high floor, low ceiling. I don't really know where that goes. He does hit for a high average, doesn't strike out a ton, so I guess maybe that's what they're valuing here. Just wouldn't have been one of my top 100 guys right now. Honestly, a little bit surprised to see him at 73. Good ball player, though. He will make an impact for the Cubs this year. 72 and 71, we have a pair of Dodgers players. So Alex Freeland, shortstop, just a solid player all around, on-base guy, has a little bit of pop in that bat, and a pretty good glove as well. That should stick up the middle. I like him. I have some cards of his. And Jackson Ferris is going to be part of that Cubs trade with Zaire Hope, where you're like, how did the Dodgers end up getting these guys for Michael Busch? It was pretty insane. A 3.2 ERA last year, 126 innings, 145 strikeouts. Jackson Ferris is going to be a freak. Travis Sikora going ahead of Harlan Susana. That's super interesting. His stuff is good. It's not as good as Susana's, but he has more pitches. He has 3 pitches. He's a more complete pitcher, which makes you think that maybe he projects better as a starter. So I could see why they put him ahead. He got to A-ball. He was striking out everybody left and right. 85 strikeouts, 85 innings, 129 strikeouts, 27 walks. Like, he was really, really good. I want to see what happens at Double A and maybe even Triple A this year. Moises Ballesteros. This dude is just a tiny little ball of power. 5'8", 200 pounds is crazy. He's not going to be a catcher. He's going to be a first base DH type player. He is not a great athlete, but he absolutely smokes the baseball. He gets on base and he puts up some crazy, crazy offensive numbers. That's what you like about Moises Ballesteros. Again, probably go down the list on me just because I don't see the value. He can't really play the field. It's kind of like the Augustin Ramirez thing for him, which I haven't seen him yet. If he's inside the top 65 here, I feel like that's pretty crazy. Christian Moore of the Angels coming in at number 68. They've been super aggressive with him. Got him up to Double A last year after drafting him in the first round. He raked at every single level. I just took him in my Dynasty Fantasy draft. He's someone who I think has value right now because he might eventually become the second baseman for the Angels in 2025 if he continues playing and dominating at every level like he has. Also, these University of Tennessee guys, they're just kind of dogs. Braden Taylor, also on my Dynasty Fantasy Baseball team. Huge fan of Braden Taylor's coming out of TCU. I love what the Rays have been able to do in terms of minor league development, and look at the numbers he gave us last year. 858 OPS, 365 on-base percentage, 110 points higher, 20 homers. He stole nearly 30 bases, 20 doubles. He walks a ton. He does strike out a little bit, but I love what I'm seeing from Braden Taylor thus far. Edgar Cuero, sneaky, should win the starting job for catcher for the White Sox coming out of spring training this year. He was kind of awesome last year. I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on Edgar Cuero, and honestly, I'm going to take him in my Dynasty leagues. He's a fun flyer in a deep league. Like, he has great plate discipline. He showed some pop in the bat last year, 16 home runs, got to AAA, didn't struggle at all at AAA. I really like Edgar Cuero. He's been doing good stuff. I think the White Sox might be figuring out player development. Is that possible? Harry Ford at 65. I feel like we've hit a bit of a snag with Harry Ford. It was not a great season last year. Still non-base king, but he's not taking that step forward with the aggressiveness, with the power, with the pop, with the stuff that makes him a different type of player. So Harry Ford at 65, I think he's a fringe top 100 guy right now, but maybe, again, this is some prospect fatigue. Justin Crawford at 64, my big thing with him is obviously physically he's a freak. If he can ever hit for power, he has the potential to be a top 25, 30 prospect in the game. 9 home runs, 25 doubles. He's a big dude, 6'2", 188, Carl Crawford's son, so you know he can absolutely fly. It's just the power. He can hit for average now. Can he get some pop in that bat? Drake Baldwin at 63, I mean, I am just kind of a Braves hater. I don't know. He's probably going to be fine. I think he's going to be a good player. I don't see him ahead of a lot of these other catchers. Like, I prefer Edgar Cuero to him. I prefer some of the other guys that are lower. I think Drake Baldwin is a fringe top 100 guy in my opinion. Again, this is just my outlook on catchers in general. They get the shit kicked out of them, and they just can never really sustain the same success offensively that they see in the minors. Even look at Francisco Alvarez. I've had to take a step back on what I think of him because the major league grind of catching is crazy, which is what makes guys like Mike Piazza and Buster Posey and JT Realmuto that much crazier when they can hit like that at the major league level and catch every day. Angel Hanao. So I got hip to this guy recently doing some fantasy baseball research. Pretty good numbers. I was surprised to see like he has some pop in the bat, a little bit more of gap power than home run power, but he gets on base, high average, decent slugging. Like he seems like a pretty good little player. Keep an eye out for him in Cleveland. Luke Keyshaw was flying through the minors last year before an injury knocked him out for the rest of the year, but a 903 OPS with a 420 on base, 15 homers, 20 doubles. The Twins could use a player like this who could just be a gadget at so many different positions. Jason Churrio is one of those guys that I would star asterisk anything you can do. This might be a top 10 prospect by the end of the year in Cleveland. Of course, this is Jackson's younger brother, 6'1", 162, so he's a little bit on the more normal size as opposed to some of these other prospects. But I love seeing an on-base percentage like 150 points higher than his average. He didn't hit for a lot of power, but I think the power will come just like it did with Jackson. And again, he walked 86 times and struck out 69. That is disgusting while stealing 44 bases. I really, really like Jason Churrio. Cam Smith, number 59, just traded to the Astros from the Chicago Cubs. He's a good ball player. He can absolutely mash. He was a beast at Florida State. There's a reason why he was a main piece for Kyle Tucker. The dude's a ball player. Jet Williams, number 58. It was a bit of a lost year last year. We don't need to look at his numbers. Again, the thing you love about Jet, he's a smaller guy, great athlete, can play a bunch of different positions, and has the exit velos to prove it. I'm really interested to see if Jet Williams can get to that next level this season. Cooper Pratt, big fan of his coming out of the draft as well. The dude is just a strong kid. I don't know if I would have him at number 57 right now. I feel like there's a lot of projecting, but 6'4", 200 pounds, can play shortstop, has a lot of pop in that bat. 6th round pick. Don't be shocked by him being a 6th round guy. That's because they had to sign him out of high school. They had to get aggressive with the bonus money, and they ended up getting him. This is the guy to be really excited about in the Brewer system. Jesus Made. Jesus made, I mean, one, it's a star name. That's an insane name. He was an international prospect last year, and he's already been so good. The numbers he put up in the Dominican Summer League were insane. 10-12 OPS, 6 homers, 9 doubles, 6 triples, 28. I mean, the numbers are insane. He stole 28 bases in 58 games. Jesus Made is kind of that Ellie De La Cruz-ish where it's like, where did this guy come from? Are they going to rank Emil Morales? Because Emil Morales put up better numbers in the Complex or Dominican Summer League. I don't remember which one he played in, but he put up better numbers. I better see him on there. That guy is a freak. Brady Montgomery at number 55, of course, traded from the Red Sox to the White Sox in the Garrett Crochet trade. Hasn't played yet due to injury, but he was one of the guys that I saw a couple years ago at the MLB Combine. I loved him. I think he has the chance to be a star player if things go right. Owen Casey for the Cubs at number 54. Last year was an interesting year. He's a good ball player. He's got some pop in the bat. He's a big dude. He's probably not going to necessarily slot in center field for you. He could be more of a corner guy, but he has the ability to be a very solid player. The Cubs just love their outfield prospects right now. Bryce Rayner, again, another one of my favorites out of the draft this previous season in Detroit. I really like his left-hand swing. Reminds me a lot of Corey Seager. Cade Horton at number 52. I mean, the stuff is obviously nasty for him. Dealt with injuries last year, only made 9 starts, but when Cade Horton is healthy, he's got a sick fastball and maybe one of the best sliders in minor league baseball. Just missing on the top 50, Xavier Isaac. This guy has crazy power. He's got a 70 grade power. I mean, it's some legit stuff there. 18 homers, 21 doubles. I know it doesn't sound crazy, but the exit velos are very impressive. Alejandro Rosario, a name that's flying up right now because he throws absolute ched, and he has 3 really good pitches, including a nasty splitter. He could be one of the best pitching prospects in baseball by the end of the year because in this first season, he dominated, as you could see. Cole Young still hanging around the top 50. I probably would have dropped him down a little bit more, probably closer to that top 100 range. He struggled at Double-A. That's a big hump to get over. The next one's going to be what he does does in AAA next season or this upcoming season. I like him as a player. I just think the ceiling has now come down a little bit on Cole Young. Okay, there's Blake Mitchell, 48. I do think he is significantly better than Carter Jensen. Again, I know these numbers aren't great, but I love seeing the on-base percentage for a catcher there. I love seeing the power, and he also stole a bunch of bases. Blake Mitchell could be a fun player. Another catcher here with Jefferson Cuero. He barely played last year. He was hurt for the entire season. I'm surprised still this aggressive. I mean, I like Jefferson Cuero, but he still really hasn't hit at a level yet that makes you go crazy. I don't know. I feel like it's aggressive. Brandon Sproat. We love Brandon Sproat coming in at number 46. The dude's a stud. He hit a snag at AAA. Different baseball. Interested to see what adjustments he can make through spring training so that he can eventually get called up this year because he has frontline quality starter stuff. Quinn Matthews. He was awesome last year for the Cardinals. He went from A all the way to AAA. Of course, he struggled in AAA, but that usually happens in your first season. Yes, first season professional baseball, got all the way to AAA. Coming out of Stanford, he's just a really solid pitcher. I think this is like kind of the prototypical guy I think about when the Cardinals go after guys. Someone who is lefty, big, lanky, and is going to be throwing a bunch of strikes. Kumar Rocker's going to be off this list. He's going to start the year at the major league level. Surely he has to. He was great in the small sample we saw. The slider is completely back. He's throwing close to 100 miles an hour. The curveball is really good. Kumar Rocker has a chance to be fantastic. Just took a little bit, but that's what happens sometimes. Prospect growth isn't linear. Kumar Rocker is going to be in that rotation, making an impact. Number 43, Connor Griffin. I love this dude coming out of the draft. Big, projectable guy. He might not play shortstop, might move to the outfield. He's that good of an athlete where he can do it all. Big power, big run, big arm. That's the stuff you get with Connor Griffin. Lazaro Montes, baby Jordan. That's what I'm calling him. I've been all over the Lazaro Montes hype train since I saw him in the Complex League again or the Dominican League. I don't remember which one it was, but ever since that 2022 season where he put up those crazy numbers, I'd had him circled, and he just continues to mash. Now, last year it wasn't as amazing as it was the previous with 1,000 OPS, but in terms of raw power, you might not find a better guy right now than Lazaro Montes, and he's just a mammoth human being. Whoa, Thomas White, number 41. Okay, Thomas White. I mean, granted, coming out of the draft 2023, he had some of the nastiest stuff. Great fastball, good slider, good changeup. He's got good control. Everything you'd like out of a good pitcher. And he comes from the left-hand side. Keep an eye out for Thomas White. Josue DePaula is going to be a top 10 prospect by the end of the year. There's no doubt. Fun fact, Stephon Marbury's cousin, Sebastian Telfair's cousin from Brooklyn, New York. 404 on base is just kind of disgusting. 10 homers, 17 doubles. He's going to fill into his body because 6'3", 185, plays the outfield, sweet left-handed swing. Big Josue DePaula fan. Colson Montgomery, he was not as good as you expected last year, a 710 OPS, but he's one of those guys where it just felt like maybe because he was stuck in AAA while watching the White Sox be the worst team in baseball, like why not give me a call up? I expect him to break camp as the starting shortstop for the White Sox, and if he's anything like he is in my Out of the Park Sims, he's going to be a stud. I like him. He's got a fun swing. Mr. Kurtz coming in at number 38, mashed, absolutely mashed, got to AA. Keep an eye out for him. If the A's ever get competitive this year, which I think they might be more competitive than we expect, and Mr. Kurtz continues to mash like he has, maybe an aggressive call up to bring Mr. Kurtz up to the big leagues. Emmanuel Rodriguez, the biggest thing with him is the injury bug. He's never played more than 100 games in a season, but he's an on-base king. He has a ton of power. I mean, he's just a good ball player. 9 homers in 47 games, 16 homers in 99 games. He gets on base. He steals bases. He can play center field. Big Emmanuel Rodriguez fan. Just stay healthy. Similarly, Chase DeLauder, just stay healthy, please. I've always loved him as a player. His swing is bizarre, but it works. He hits the ball hard. You see the numbers here. He does good stuff, but he just cannot stay healthy. He's played less than 100 games in 2 seasons. Actually shocked they have him this high because of those reasons. Rhett Lauder at 35. I think he's going to be a part of that major league rotation pretty much from opening day. Solid pitcher. I don't know if he's ever going to be like a Cy Young caliber guy, but he's a good guy to have in Cincinnati. He's able to get a ton of ground ball outs, and in that bandbox, that's exactly what you want. Coming in at number 34, we've got Hagen Smith out of the University of Arkansas. He is disgusting. I believe he had like the most strikeouts in college baseball last season. He went in the top 5 to the Chicago White Sox. They're hoping they found their next Garrett Crochet. That's pretty much what this is. Next Garrett Crochet, Chris Sale. I'm an Ethan Salas hater, not because I think he's a bad player by any means. I don't see the hype that everyone else does. I know he's incredibly young, but he was horrendous last year. A 599 OPS with a sub 300 on base. Like, he just might not be ready for the level that he's at. I'm not giving up on him as a prospect by any means, but I would truthfully say he would not be in my top 100. Not right now. He's got to prove it to me more than just being young and at a level. The Padres 100% manufacture hype on their prospects by just flying them up the system. And they have a prospect that's younger, gotten to a high level, and it's just straight up better that I like more. So I'm sorry to come off as a hater. I don't mean to be a hater. Ethan Salas, I'm sure, is going to be a great player at some point. It's not right now. I don't think it's fair to even give him this much hype. It's a lot of pressure on this kid who has still yet to really figure out what kind of player he's going to be. Kyle Teal at number 32 came over in the Garrett Crochet trade. Just a straight up good player. Another guy who is going to be fighting, I think, for an open A spot, maybe for the Chicago White Sox. Jacob Wilson, he's not going to be a prospect on this list much longer. He's going to start pretty much every day at shortstop for the A's. Dalton Rushing, is this the year he finally gets called up? He mashed again last year, on-base machine. It feels like he's going to find a way to make an impact for the Dodgers this year, especially when you see the 26 homers. The power started to come around last year. Charlie Condon struggled mightily last year, but the guy absolutely mashes. I don't really care. It was a, 25-game sample. He's too good of a hitter, and all you gotta do is get him to the major leagues, get him in Colorado at some point, and he's gonna hit 40 home runs. Kevin McGonigal has flown up people's prospect lists inside the top 30 here. I've seen him as high as the top 20 on some lists. 300 average, on-base machine. He started to put on some weight, got some good exit velos last year. He doesn't strike out a lot. He's a really solid player. The Tigers are building a good little farm system over there as well. Aiden Miller of the Philadelphia Phillies. They've got him listed at shortstop. Okay, Aiden Miller, I see you. I liked him out of the draft. He fell because he broke his hand and didn't get to play much in the high school season or in the summer circuit, but every time that he did play, he was very good. And as you can see, you can lock him in right now for about an 800 OPS with a little bit of pop in that bat. I'm an Aiden Miller fan. Chase Burns coming in at number 26, the number 2 overall pick in last year's draft. He didn't pitch last year. Usually college pitchers don't necessarily do that. He's got a major fastball, wipeout slider, good curveball. He's a really good pitcher. Chase Dolander, again, he would be like my number 1 pitching prospect in baseball, but he pitches for Colorado, so it's hard to get excited when you know he's going to pitching hell. But the numbers are absolutely disgusting. I mean, 169 Ks and 118 innings is like actually nuts stuff. Huge Chase Dolander fan. It's just, oh, please trade him. Give him to an organization that can actually get his potential. Another Tennessee guy is a dog. Bryce Eldridge. Go back and watch my videos. I love Bryce Eldridge. He is a freak. Look how big this dude is. 6'7", 223. He's going to be hitting balls into the McCovey Cove sooner than later because the power is insane. And he got 23 homers, 27 doubles, 92 RBIs. He's a freak at the plate. JJ Weatherholt, maybe one of the higher floors of the entire 2024 draft. Just a straight up good ball player. And he did really well in his small sample at A ball. Maybe starts the year at high A, maybe starts at low A, but he feels like a guy who could fly through the system very under the radar because you're just going to get a major league player with a little bit of upside on the offensive side. 22, Jack Cag. So they and Baseball America are very different on Jack Caglione. It seems like he's kind of really only going to hit. The numbers weren't great. The exit velos were. Arizona Fall League, there are some swing decision concerns and some swing and miss in his game, but when he connects, he crushes the baseball. And there's still a world where he could maybe be a reliever. I don't know. He throws 100 miles an hour. You should never give up on that, especially if the hitting isn't coming as easily. Maybe you do the wrong thing and you try and do both so you can get more value out of him. It's crazy. Jack Cag's an Italian stallion. I want to see him do both, but it seems like he's probably just going to hit. Jason Dominguez being ranked is silly because he's going to be the everyday left fielder for the Yankees. Colt Emerson, top 20. Hell yeah, Colt Emerson. Ooh, the numbers weren't great on the power side. Was there an injury with Colt Emerson? Because only 4 homers is not great in 70 games. There had to be an injury. He only played 70 games, which would explain probably the power numbers down, but the on-base is great. Top 20 is probably aggressive, but I like it. Matt Shaw should be the Cubs opening day third baseman if they don't go out and sign an Alex Bregman or a major league caliber player. The dude just mashes. He's mashed at every level, mashed in college. 21 homers last year. I think he might be ready. Give him a shot. This is the freak that I was talking about in the Padres organization. Leodalis DeVries. He is insanely good. DeVries was an international prospect a year ago, and he went to A-ball as a 17-year-old. 802 OPS is crazy, and he started the year off so not particularly good, and then he went off in the second half. So these numbers are kind of insanely impressive considering how low he once was, but Leodalis DeVries, I believe he's nicknamed the Mutant for good reason. He's a freak. He's only 18. Sebastian Walcott, also another freak. He got up to AA, I believe, last year with Texas, which is insane, and in the 5 games he was good. He's going to start the year at AA. He has the chance to be the number 1 prospect in baseball by the end of the year. If you're interested in buying cards, if you want to try to make some money, this is the guy. This is the next big prospect that's going to be generational. It's not a bold claim, but I mean, I would put him honestly at like number 3 or 4 right now on my list. Noah Schultz. I mean, he's so good, Noah Schultz. He's disgusting. Another guy I loved out of the draft because he had a Randy Johnson build, reminded me of him with the way that he's 6'9" and that big left-handed fastball, nasty slider, great changeup, and the numbers have been incredible. Nobody touches him. 115 strikeouts, 24 walks, and 88 innings last year. They're building something in Chicago, I'm telling you. Wow, Bubba Chandler, number 15. Ooh, the numbers were great for Bubba last year. He's going to have a chance to be on the Major League roster early in the season. Can he break camp? That's the real question, but those are great numbers. Shout out Bubba Chandler. He was a 2-star athlete in high school, was going to go play quarterback at Clemson, decided to go into the draft, went to the Pirates, they paid him, and it seems like it's paying off. Kobe Mayo at number 14. If they end up trading Ryan Mountcastle, I imagine he'll go to first base. The power is what you get excited about with Kobe Mayo. Just year after year after year, big power numbers. And the last time I'm going to say it in today's video, go back and check the 2020 draft. This dude was a 4th-round pick. I was all over Kobe Mayo. He was one of my favorite prospects. Samuel Basayo. So he had a bit of a down year last year, sub 800 OPS, but people love the exit velos from him. Just, again, again, a little concerned with catcher first base, but he's really good, and he's only 20 years old. Marcelo Meyer outside the top 10 feels like a little bit of prospect fatigue. Only played in 77 games, but 850 OPS. What do we not like? Why is he not a top 10 guy? Is it just because it's taking a little bit longer and the power's not coming along? Maybe that's it. 8 homers in 77 games, so you're projecting him to be now more of like a 10 to 20 homer guy rather than a 20 to 30 homer guy. That'd be the only thing, but he's still sick. Jordan Lawler, we got to stop ranking him. He's got to be at the major league level at some point. He's awesome. Travis Bazzana inside the top 10. I'll be honest, not a top 10 prospect in my rankings. I think he's a very good player, but I just think this draft class in particular is a little bit on the weaker side. I prefer Sebastian Walcott, who is 4 years younger at AA and doing better things. This is where MLB Pipeline makes no sense to me, but hey, hype up the number 1 pick from Australia. I'm all about growing the game. I have no problems with it. Carson Williams at number 9. This is a dude who should be getting some serious hype because he's got a great glove. He's got some serious pop in that bat with 20 homers last year in 100 games. I don't think he's going to get to the major league level this year. I think the Rays are going to be patient, but he could have a chance to maybe get close if he goes off. Andrew Painter coming off Tommy John should be super interesting. He has not pitched since 2022, but when he was healthy, as you can tell, he was the best pitcher in the minor leagues. I'm a huge Andrew Painter guy. Truthfully, couldn't believe he wasn't going like inside the top 5 of his draft. Shout out Calvary Christian. They're an absolute powerhouse in Florida. Number 7, Christian Campbell. Yeah, this is the guy. He might have a chance to start at second base or maybe even shortstop for the Red Sox, depending what they do with Trevor Story. The numbers are crazy, and this is just simply because the Red Sox worked on his bat speed, and look what happened. In 1 year, he went from 1 homer in 22 games to 20 homers, 32 doubles, and legitimately some of the best numbers in all of minor league baseball because the Red Sox worked on his bat speed. It's crazy stuff what they're doing out there in Boston. More and more teams are going to adopt that. Max Clark, number 6. I know he got crazy hot at the end of the year. I don't think, again, he would be inside my top 10 right now, but I know with the athleticism and the power and the swing, he's kind of a freak player. And he's got the personality, too. The dude is a winner. He's a cool guy. Jackson Jobe at number 5. He's going to be on the opening day roster. He's disgusting. Dylan Cruz is going to be on the opening day roster. We don't need to talk about him. Walker Jenkins, filthy, disgusting. Follows me on Instagram. Shout out Walker Jenkins. He likes all my reels. Got to do some content with him at some point. But yeah, I mean, he's 6'3", 210. He runs like the wind, hits for power, has a good arm, can probably even maybe play center field, which is kind of crazy. Big Walker Jenkins fan. He's sick. Roman Anthony at number 2. And let's be honest, he's the true number 1 because having Roki Sasaki at number 1 is ridiculous. He's a professional baseball player already in Japan. Roman Anthony is the number 1 guy. If the Red Sox are super serious and he has a great spring training, he should be their everyday center fielder or maybe left fielder. You bring Duran back to center. But Roman Anthony's numbers are absolutely insane. 18 homers, 32 doubles, 65 RBIs. Fun fact, went to the same high school as Kobe Mayo. I don't think they ever played together. Maybe they did because they're only 3 years apart, but he is also a Stoneman Douglas guy out in Florida. Freak player. Really good. So there they are, the MLB Pipeline top 100 prospects for the 2025 season. I'd love to know who you guys thought was snubbed, who was ranked too high, who was ranked too low. Let me know what you're thinking down in the comment section below. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed, as well as subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the content. Follow me on all my social media, GiraffeNeckMarc. Links are in the description. That's where I'll wrap it up. You guys know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload, so click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you all tomorrow for another video. Bye.